What's up? Wayne Barron here with DarkEffects.net, and tonight we are inside of Access Database 2010. Even though it shows 2007 up here, that's just the database that I'm using. The program is 2010. Okay, this came from a viewer, Andrew Mitralesh, and his question is a few questions. I have noticed that I can do exactly what you just did. I learned that, but what is the purpose or the objective in this relationship? Can you explain this again in a real example and what it is beneficial for people to use? I have a fitness program and I wanted to know how to create a database with members, instructors, and classes. It was confusing how I would go about doing that and how it can be much easier than just using a table of info. Well, this question right here has been asked since basically databases have begun. A lot of people would prefer that you dig and you grind and you learn how to do it on your own. However, how are people supposed to learn if they don't ask questions? So this right here is the same question that I asked many years ago, and it'd have been cool if somebody would have made a video to show me. I would have learned a lot faster as well. So this is basically how you do what Andrew just asked. And so let's go ahead and jump into it. Okay, this is basically built on Andrew's members, instructors, and classes. Members, instructors, and classes. Okay, we have our classes here, which I've already created some sample classes. We got our first class is a muscle training, then running, then walking. That's three different classes with three different instructors. These are our instructor IDs. This is our class ID. And so we jump over to our instructors table. Our instructors table has an INS ID, which is our instructor's ID, the instructor's name, and the CL ID. The CL ID is the class ID. Then we got our members. Our members has a member ID, an INS ID, which is the instructor's ID, and the CL ID, which is the class ID, along with username, password, email. Okay, what we're going to do here is that we are going to match up our INS with each one of our instructors. So each one of our instructors, our first instructor, which is Andrew, since he asked the question. So Andrew is instructor 1. He's going to be handling muscle training. And then me at running, and then you at walking. And so that's class ID 1, 2, and 3. Instructors 1, 2, and 3. So inside of our members, we have instructors 1, 2, 3, and class ID 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 on each one of them. Okay, so we got users 1 through 9. Passwords all the same, user whatever. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to design a script that will basically do this for us within our website. And so the script that we're going to make is basically we're going to grab a hold of our instructors or our class and grab a hold of our instructor for each one of these classes, and then we're going to show the members of each one of the classes. So let's go ahead and start creating our script. So inside of Access, click on Create, go to our Query Design, and then let's grab a hold of all three of our tables and add them. First thing we want to do is get rid of this one right here. So you got your classes, you got your instructors, you got your members, right? So get rid of this one right here. This one right here would totally destroy. You don't want to create a complete loop. So we delete that one. Okay, so basically it is our instructors, comes in here, but our classes join both. Okay, so now let's go ahead and grab a hold of our class ID, class name, instructor ID, instructor name, mem ID, username, email. When we run this, we get everything. We get all 9 users. Okay, so now let's go back inside here. Okay, the first thing we want to do is that we want to look at our classes. So our classes is muscle training, running, and walking. So we come over here inside of our query editor and we choose our criteria of 1. and then we run this. Get over here, we run it, then we would get a hold of our username 1, 4, and 7, and this is run by Andrew on all three, and he's doing muscle training. So we come back, let's go back inside design view. We choose classes number 2, and it shows me, and then we go back over to design view and choose classes number 3, run it, then it shows you with your members. This is what it looks like inside of SQL view. It's going to show each one of our tables and each one of our column names that we chose to show. Then it's going to show we've created an inner join between our classes on instructors INSID and classes INSID. Then another inner join between our members and classes for our CLID. And then we checked in for our classes on CLID number 3. So that is our script. So if you're doing ASP Classic, you would basically take it like so, jump inside whichever program that you're going to be using. Let's just say that you're inside of Dreamweaver, and you create a new project, and you will basically do this SQL.command text equals, you paste that in. Okay, and then you would run this script along with a little bit more code, but this is basically what it would look like. And this right here, as long as you've got inside of here, so you would have something like this right here, set rs equals SQL.execute, and then you would go down here, and then you would write in something like, let's just say ins name. Okay, once you run this script right here, it would actually display the instructor's name that is doing the class 3, which would be walking, I think. And so that is basically how you would do a quick little SQL for an ASP Classic page. And it's almost the same in .NET, just a lot of other gibberish added on to it. I'm not a big .NET fan, to be honest with you. So anyway, that's basically how that would be done. And so let's jump back inside of our query, and let's say that we want to grab a hold of just our instructor, not our class, but our instructor. So we would do our instructor ID. We would run that, and it would do the same thing. We'd show up with the same query because we grabbed a hold of our instructor ID. Okay, what if we just grabbed a hold of just our member ID to find out what our member's doing? That would be what we would do there. So you can do with this one query, this one simple query, you can do 4 different things without any criteria created, which is called a query. Without any query created, we can run this, and it shows all of our members. Then we go in here. Let's jump back over to design view. We go in here, we do our classes, and we show up for our classes. We get rid of that. Decided that we want to take a look at our instructors. We've got our instructors, which basically shows the same as our classes. And then go back inside design view, and then delete that one. Jump in, just want to find the member ID to find out what that member is doing. Let's choose number 9, select, and we've got number 9. So this is basically how you use Access. But do not depend on Access to do a heavy job. Access is only limited by so many concurrent connections. So once you get so many connections, and I cannot remember what it is, I haven't designed with Access in a couple of years. I have not really done a lot of work with it, so I only create demos with Access. I use SQL Server. And so, but Access, okay, now for Andrew, if you're going to design a weight site, okay, something similar to this right here. Let's jump over here. This is called stay and shape.us. If you're going to design a site that's similar to this right here, okay, this is my site. This one right here is run with SQL Server. Okay, this entire site is SQL Server. So if you're going to design your site, I strongly suggest that you start out learning Access. It's really easy to jump from Access over to SQL Server. So you're going to start out learning with Access first. Design your website within Access, okay, on your local system. Okay, you can do this. You can run a web server from the professional versions of 2000, XP, Vista, Windows 7, and Windows 8. Okay, each one of these can run your websites for you, a local website. Okay, if you want to, and you can even install SQL Server on it. You can get the most recent SQL Server. You can download it for, I think it's 90 or 180 days. I think it's a 180-day trial that you can run it full version of Microsoft SQL Server, and you can do this, learn it the proper way. Okay, but I would start out with Access. That's what I did. And so I strongly suggest anybody that's going to be going into this to start out with Access. It's a really easy program to learn how to navigate through. And then after you learn how to do this within Access, then jump over, create the same structure inside of SQL Server, the same database name, the same tables, the same everything within SQL Server, and then go for it. It's really easy. Okay, I've got some videos up on SQL Server as well. And so, but don't rely on Access, because if you design your site with Access, and let's say you've got 1,000 members, you got 100 people that's going to hit this site, the people are barely going to be able to get any information whatsoever showing to them until somebody else logs off from the site to open up one of them holes so they can jump in. And so to where SQL Server, you can have, as long as you've got enough memory sitting inside of that server, you can have several thousand people hit the site at one time. To where Access, you're very limited. Access is not designed to run a website. So, I mean, there's a lot more that I would love to say, but I don't want to drag this video on too much. We're getting ready to hit 13 minutes now. So, just keep in mind, I mean, this right here is just a simple way. I will have this video up on Coding Source. Become a member of Coding Source. It's free. Download this video. Download this database. And if I knew that you was using ASP Classic, I'd make up a demo. I might end up doing a demo just for the heck of it within ASP Classic. I'm not big on ASP.NET, so I'm not going to do one there, and I do not do PHP. So I'm strictly mainly ASP Classic. That's what I do all my stuff in. So, but anyway, if you have any more questions, if something's not clear, hopefully this video will sort of level everything out for you to show you that basically you got your classes, you got your instructors, and you got your members. You design it like this right here, and you've basically got it made. And if you open up your query editor and you add in your tables and they don't automatically link like this one did, that's okay. Just remember, you got to create your INS ID to your instructors from your classes, and then jump from your classes over to your members, and then go for it. I mean, so anyway, this is Wayne Barron, darkeffects.net. This is very late Thursday evening, or actually Friday morning at 12:27 a.m. It's about time for me to wrap it up. So y'all have a rockin' weekend. Take care. Bye bye.